Hi everyone. Okay, so I meant to do this last night, but my body kind of gave out. Okay, so I'm gonna go back a little bit, and I'm gonna talk about everything. So this might be a little bit longer video, but hopefully not that long. So I already talked about the apparel appearance thing a little bit, but I really want to focus on two things as far as that's concerned. Okay, so number one, her appearance, her apparel changed a lot from day one to day three. Now day two and day three, which that brings up another point. Um, I didn't know the count, but we've had 12 witnesses so far, and we've only had 8 days of testimony. Now, granted, we had a day off because of something. I don't know what. So, but still only 12. The fact that she's testified for 3 days of it shows you how important she is to the Commonwealth. That's the first point. Okay, number two, appearance. I talked about the spray tan or whatever she did, and the clothing. Okay, I'm only gonna talk about this little part. All right. Day two, she wears a sweatshirt, um, light blue. You'd say maybe sky blue. Okay, covering the cross. The reason I know she has a cross is because day one, she was wearing something that showed her cross prominently. And I thought, why would you do that? Like, not looking for an answer, just the question was out in my mind, right? Okay. Then the second day, she covers it up. Then yesterday, Friday yesterday was day three, right? Okay, so they stick with the color blue, and it's a button-up blouse. If you button it all the way, then nothing shows, and whatever, right? Well, she took a completely different approach. Um, she unbuttoned a bunch of buttons, and when I say a bunch, okay, I'm a woman, and most of my audience are women. Okay, so that means we have uh, what can I say? A chest. Okay, so most of us know that there's a um, nice way to show that we have a chest, right? And it's called a little bit of cleavage. The way that she had worn the shirt was so bad that if she leaned over far enough, you would see not only cleavage, but more than cleavage. I mean, literally, I was looking at it and going, what? Wow, okay, that's choice. And then I said to myself, if she bends over, you're seeing, you know, body parts. Wow, okay. But then coming along with the cross theme, the cross was evident again. So I don't know who's talking to her. I don't know. Okay, number one, I think that someone is talking to her. What they're saying to her, I have no idea. But what she's taking in when they're telling her, I have no idea either. Because even if you didn't want to show anything, there's a way to, well, I don't know, show off the cross, but not be, I have a cross. I can't explain it. It's just too magnified. Okay, number two. Um, she had the tan, right? Okay, there was a moment in the testimony yesterday where Alan Jackson, and I'm gonna get to him more, but he said something that she did not like at all, and or made her go completely pale. I mean, she has a tan, but even with the tan, you could see she was pale as a ghost. So I'm like, okay, there's something up with you, because if you were telling the truth and you had nothing to hide and there was nothing wrong with the testimony, you wouldn't go like that. And also, secondarily, you wouldn't be so defensive. And also, which is minor. Well, it could be seen as minor or not minor. You wouldn't feel the need to add more and more details. Okay, now this factor I have talked about several times. Not in this case, but in other situations, because I told you before, I watched the behavioral panel. Okay, part of what they do is to show you how to read body language, and it can be used in different scenarios, but most of the time they say this is how you tell when someone's lying. Okay, one of the factors is if you ask somebody a question, an innocuous question, and they get really defensive, they might be lying to you. Number two, if you ask them a question and they feel like they need to offer way more details than what you asked for, that means they're trying to appeal to some kind of sense in you, and they think that if they add more details, they'll sound more credible. Probably isn't the case most of the time. Like, they don't come up as credible, but they think they will. So that's why they do it. She did that a lot. And she also took charge a lot. Okay, so there was a moment where, in my mind, Alan Jackson got her to admit to a bunch of stuff that she did not want to admit to, and it made her case or her testimony crumble. Everything is crumble. And also, I have evidence of that, because he was getting I talked about this before in another video. He has the unique ability to read who he's interviewing in a fashion. Okay, so he can adjust his way he asks questions and everything. Okay, so my point, he starts off really nice with her and whatever. Okay, and then by Friday, he is like, you can tell he's like pissed off, and so he just lets go. He lets it rip, and because she's saying, I'm doing all I can for my friend. I'm doing all I can for my friend. And he's like, well, if you were doing all that you can for your friend, then you would have done this and that. Because, okay, now I'm going to go on the theory. Well, it's not a theory, but I'm going to go on the part that when they found him in the snow, okay? Um, there's a house right there, like walking distance, and you don't walk in and try to get him aid from your brother-in-law, who is a trained paramedic, firefighter, you know, so he can do that stuff, and you don't think to get him involved. And theory number two, which is not a theory, but if you okay, if you found a guy dying on the lawn, then why wouldn't you be worried about the people in the house? Because you're related to them, right? So wouldn't your instinct of like survival instinct kick in and worry about the people in the house, because you don't know, supposedly you don't know what happened to him, so who knows if somebody unalived him and they might want to unalive other people, and that doesn't cross your mind. So the part where he got her to he took off on her was when he said, uh, I know why you didn't react the way that you're supposed to and you didn't do whatever because you weren't worried about the people in the house because you knew what happened to him. So you knew there was no cause for you to worry, right? And he's screaming. I mean, screaming. And I'm like, okay, so I talked about that a little bit. Okay, so here's what happened on the Commonwealth side after that happened. Because, what's his name? Brennan knew that he had to do damage control. So this is what he does. He doesn't, it's pretty evident too. He doesn't know what to say because he's in a foster club. Okay, and so his damage control is tell me about the weather. And then his other damage control, which is completely stupid because we all know what the weather was. It was really cold and snowy. Okay, everybody knows in the first trial because they said it 10,000 times. Number two, he tries to go with the angle of, well, you there were people in other houses around that house, right? And nobody ever came out. Nobody ever came out, right? And she's like, no, they didn't. So then you're supposed to believe that this woman was completely alone and had nobody to back her up. And so poor woman, completely alone, with a woman, other woman, worried about her boyfriend and running around and chaos and all this other stuff. And so she's not in the right frame of mind. And you're supposed to think, oh, poor woman. Yeah, no. But yeah, that's what he tried to do. But I say epic fail, but that's just me. So yeah, that happened. And then it was really weird because after all that, you think so it's gonna be fireworks. And then they're like, no more questions. So she gets off the stand. And I'm like, what? I was confused. I was thinking it was gonna be major. And it was like just for all that buildup, no. What? But yeah, it was fire for about I don't know 5 minutes, maybe less than that, because there was a lot of buildup to the explosion, and yeah. So when we actually got it, it was like wow. I call it masterful. He knows what he's doing. He may look. The only problem maybe possibility of a problem is if the jury is made of members who have never seen the first trial, he could come off as combative against a poor woman who was just trying to help another woman out, you know. But I don't know if I totally believe that or not. The part where they didn't see anything about the first trial at all, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I found that interesting from yesterday. All right. Bye, everybody.